Well, welcome to a wee vlog. Thought I would get the bike out, blow off a few cobwebs, and maybe try and do a wee summary for this channel. I've kind of just sprung it up and put a few videos up and not really explained the sort of direction that it's going to take. So I thought I would just kind of get you to how I got here to this point. Not the first YouTube channel I've had, but that'll come apart as I discuss where this one is going. First, let me say the little things that annoy you in life, isn't it? Like Velcro and gloves when you wish that there was a stud, you know. And then you get on older bikes and you forget about things like side stands and that you've turned the fuel tap off, you know. And that, I suppose, nicely leads me into how I've ended up on a 2001 ZZR1100. A very nice one, I have to say. Doesn't feel 22 years old. You will have seen that there's a couple of videos gone up, 3 videos in fact, of my Bandit project, and that's going to continue. It's going quite well, I'm quite pleased with that. And then obviously this is the only bike I've got at the moment. So, I made a comment about side stands and fuel taps that you have to turn off and on. And of course, today's modern bikes, you know, you don't have to worry about your fuel. You just start the bike and go, and there's no fuel taps like there used to be, like there is on this. And I'm just out of practice. And that's because I've had 16 years of buying new bikes, and that got brought to an end this year. Lots of reasons why it happened. It wasn't financial, it was more to do with my health, but you know, when I say my health, my physical health. But I also think that my mental state was not great. I wasn't in a happy place in those 16 years of buying new bikes. And I suppose, you know, if you take my background, I started off with nothing. Left school with nothing. Somehow find myself eventually in an apprenticeship as a motor mechanic. And I did that for just over 5 years. And then I did a non-skilled job for 6 years, kind of just fell out. And then when that came to an end, I went to college and university and got myself re-educated. And basically I've spent the last 25 years working in IT at the back of that. So from being that little guy with no prospect of buying bikes, new bikes, ever in my life, never ever thinking that would ever be the case, I went from somebody who just bought bikes that I could repair and put back on the road. Those were the ones I could afford. I fell into this ability to be able to finance new bikes, and that started in 2005. And funnily enough, it started with a Suzuki Bandit 1200. It wasn't a Mark 1, it was a Mark 2, and it was a K5. So that was my first brand new bike. I'm going to put a video up that's going to be a sort of a just a sort of a catalogue or a very quick summary of all the bikes I've had. If I get to about August this year, I will that'll be my first year of not buying new bikes, my anniversary. This bike does sound good, doesn't it? I'm a little bit rusty. I've not been doing a lot of riding. Obviously I spent a good part of the season with my shoulder injury, and the bikes have been kind of thinned out, and I've really only had a few, or this one to go out on. I've not been out a lot. So the workshop's been delayed, and might still get that built by the end of the year. The Bandit 1200 I bought 2 years ago as a basket case. It was advertised as a Bandit in a box, and it sat in my garage for 2 years. I kept saying I'd get round to it, and then with the workshop coming in, I thought, right, I could maybe, when we're not having any bikes at the moment, only having this one, I could maybe get a lift, invest in some new tools and make a start on it, and then when the workshop gets built I can migrate it into that. And that's exactly what I did. I'm also watching my speed because I got 3 points last year on my gold wing. Can you believe it? On a bloody gold wing, doing 70 and a 60. So being a wee bit more careful as well. So that's it. That's where I went with the sort of project idea, and the Bandit's been started, and I'm really enjoying it. I've really enjoying being back on the tools, enjoying solving the puzzle. It's been great fun. I've really had a great time. Today I just thought I'll have a wee break. Again, I had a break yesterday. I worked all day Saturday. I was knackered, and I thought, right, I'll have a break on Sunday. It was my birthday, so I thought, right, day off. And today I took a holiday today, and I've just really got up and read a book, and then thought, you know what, get the bike out. And then I thought, right, okay, I could do a wee vlog and try and put a video up. So getting back to the sort of channel and what it's going to be about. It's going to be about motorbikes, obviously, because that's been my whole life. And I have got a plan to buy another few bikes. I haven't given up buying motorbikes, I've just given up buying new motorbikes. But I do have a plan to buy 2 motorcycles. I'm not going to say what they are, but let's just say one is a purchase of the heart, and the other is a purchase of practicality and what I can do with it, and possibly to team up with the other person who will be involved in this channel. And he's a silent partner at the moment, but if we do manage to well, we will manage to do stuff together, hopefully the channel will grow into my mate Will's side as well. Now Will has there's a video up on the channel, and it's unfortunately I didn't have the microphone that day, so you can't really hear us talking, but he was test riding a Tiger 1200 XRT, I think it was, and Will passed his test about 4 years ago. He bought a CX 500 or a CB 500X, sorry, I always get that bit wrong. And though I'm going to put some videos up, because what I'm going to do is, I did say I've had YouTube channels before, and I have, and I pulled them because I got to the stage where I was changing my bike so often. I just felt a hypocrite to be talking about one bike and then 6 months later it was gone and I had another bike. I just felt like a hypocrite, so I just decided that, you know, I would start fresh, and hopefully this time for the last time. So I have got videos in the past that I may well stick up, and of bikes I've had, and some of that video is Will and I doing the NC 500. Well, he's bought the Tiger 1200 after the test ride. He bought it, and it's his first really big bike, and it's his upgrade from his 500, and he's currently waiting on it. The dealers are taking something like 8 weeks to get it through the workshops. Unbelievable. Will and I will hopefully do a few more journeys together, a few more biking things, and not only will it be Will and I, but it'll also be Will himself. So Will is probably going to be off to do some adventures with his wife, and you know, I'd like to, you know, share this YouTube channel with Will, with the both of us, and with anything that he does, and hopefully we'll start to shape it up and put a bit of effort into it. We'll maybe rename it, I don't know what I'm going to call it, but that's kind of where it's going. So it's going to be my bikes, Will's bikes, our adventures, his adventures, and some workshop time. And that really, folks, is it. That's the sort of summary of how the channel's got here, and where I've come from. And I've been biking since I was 17. I'm now 58, so it's no longer a nice 40 years, it's 41 years that I've been riding motorbikes. I first started to get on a motorbike when I was about 14. That's when I first learned to ride a motorbike, but legally I started owning bikes when I was 17, and it's really been non-stop since then. I had a little break of 3 years just after I was 17, but once I came back at about 20, I've never stopped. It's always been a bike in my garage. It's a passion that's very hard to describe. I've just never lost the passion for it. I love motorbikes. I should have worked in the motorcycle industry, I think. Would have saved myself a lot of money. I could have, you know, done all the things I've done on bikes without the expense that I've had. And you know, when I do the bike summary and maybe do a video and you'll see all the bikes tagged on, you know, a lot of people will say, oh, but you've had the experience, you've had the great time. And well, no, you know, I didn't really get that. I kind of just swapped my bikes too often to get that. So it did feel like 16 years of a wasted opportunity. But you can't undo the past, you know, you can't undo what you've done, so you've just got to get on with what you've got. And hopefully I do stay on the straight and narrow, and the way forward with the channel carries on in the direction it's going. I'm not trying to be anything. I'm not going to be a YouTube star or anything like that. I started the YouTube in the first place just to record my biking, so that maybe one day when I can't bike, I can look back on it. And that's really why probably a lot of people start YouTube channels with motorbikes. It's just to record their sort of moment and have it as an archive, and that's purely what I've been doing. And to share my love of bikes, and hopefully sometimes click with a few people that feel the same way. I mean, I'm amazed that we've not done something about the price of petrol, that we've not stood up and done something, because it's just getting really beyond the joke. And you know, the government are just squeezing our balls because they can, and you know, they're needing an influx of money, and so they're happy to let this roll at the moment. They're getting about 50% of it back in taxes. They don't give a fuck. But it's getting ridiculous, and it's, you know, it's, as always, it's alright for a lot of us. We can work around it and cope with it, but there will be some families who are at that level of income that, you know, all these price rises, all the fuel rises, all the petrol prices, everything will be absolutely crippling them. And you know, we need to really stand up and do something. Anyway, that's a side rant. When I saw the price of petrol there, every time I see it, it goes up by a penny or two, and I think at one point it went up by about at least 5 pence within the space of a week. So I'm going to sign off, and hopefully you've got enough out of this video to capture my past. Promise not to buy a new bike, okay? Bye for now. Here we are on the old Quarry Road. My best to keep the speed down, but it's hard work. Today, which is great news. Helmet's staying pretty clean, lights staying pretty clean. You know, there is definitely been a reduction in the amount of flies for the last few years, I think. We have the days when they're pretty abundant, but today one of those days where they're just not. Very difficult here to keep the speed down because this is well, easy to wind up on this road. But you can see how super smooth the bike is. Just beats the miles. A grand old bus, it really is. These were just amazing bikes. My brother has had a love for them since they came out, and he still has one in his garage. He's 72 now, still gets out, does a bit of riding, but he's kept it going. He's kept it going every year, invested money into it to keep it going. It's great to see that he still rides. Of course the TT's back this year, and my god, those guys are mad. Can't imagine the speeds they go at, you know, how they cope. So matter of fact about it. Good to see you back though. Again though, as always, fatalities. It's always sad. It's been a nice wee hurry to get out. Needed to pick this part up. It's been sitting in the dealers for weeks, and I'd rather have it than not have it. Get it paid for. Don't know what I'll do this afternoon. I'll either do a bit of video work or I'll maybe go out and do a bit more on the Bandit. I'll see how I feel when I get back. A cup of tea, something to eat. I've done quite a bit to the Bandit, so I don't mind really having a wee break. We'll see. I will also say that I kind of said the guy stripped it down without a thought and never recorded anything. What I will say though is he did put them in a box, and he did kind of segment the box so that it kind of makes sense. I think he kept certain screws together, so life hasn't been quite as hard as it looked. You can see again how overtaking on this bike is just second nature. You can just do it. So he wasn't too badly organised as far as that was concerned. He could have done with bagging things and labelling it and putting nuts back in where he took them out. You know, that's what I would do. You know, put the nuts back in where you take them out. or at least until you get a chance to record everything properly. But hey-ho, it's added to my enjoyment of having an absolute big jigsaw puzzle to do.